Good morning, day 14 of the lockdown. I'm Steve. I make bacon for a living. My business is still running, albeit at about 50%. I used to have a retail store, farmer's market stall as well, and now I'm just restricted just to making bacon for the wholesale side of the business. So it's about half the turnover of what I'm used to, but we're surviving. And these are daily vlogs that I'm doing every day, just to show what life's like for a small business owner like myself, getting through these tough times. It was just, I just thought I'd document it, so that, I don't know, the grandkids could say, oh, that was Grandad. That was Grandad in 2020 during the world epidemic. So anyway, the UK, record number of deaths yesterday, 800 plus. The modelling in the UK is a prediction of about 66,000 deaths. The modelling in the US is somewhere between 100 and 240,000. Now these figures are alarming, but let's just qualify them a little bit. The CDC in America, for instance, on their website has a disclaimer. And the disclaimer talks about how not all these deaths have been tested for coronavirus. They're just assuming that they were coronavirus, but they haven't all been tested. So they're lumping in basically everybody who dies at the moment in hospital as being probable to have had coronavirus. I'm not sure whether it's too hard to do all the tests or there's a backlog. I'm not sure, but there's a disclaimer on the CDC website. Same on the NHS website in the UK. I'm not too sure, it's not the NHS, it's another one that's doing all the reporting. But same thing though, there's a qualification. It's a bit like what we've got here with the positive test. Every day the figure is something plus probable. So it's not 100% indicative of the actual numbers. But it's close to, and it's all we've got to go on. Today, like I said to you yesterday, I've got to cut and pack a lot of the bacon. I've only got tomorrow to do deliveries, so I need to get everything done today, because on Friday it's Good Friday, and I think the stores will all be shut. Pretty sure they're opening on Easter Sunday this year, but not Good Friday, so I need to get these deliveries done tomorrow. So I'll have to get to work hard. Already a bit late, 'cause it's about 7:30. Interesting. Do you still believe then, based on what's happening in the Western world right now, that China, with 1.4 billion people, claim they only had 3,400 deaths total? Just beggars belief. And obviously you can't believe everything that comes out of China. It's a dictatorial communist country. So which means their people only get told what they need to be told, and told to believe whatever is fed to them through the state media. So I still don't believe China only had 3,400 deaths. I'm sure it's got to be a lot more. I mean, they have loads and loads of major cities, but their land is so big. You know, just look at Mongolia and all that sort of stuff. No hospitals in Mongolia that could cope with this. I was doing a poo. Where did it all begin? China claims what they call case zero. The very first case was a 55-year-old man shopping at that what they call a wet market in Wuhan. A little bit hard to believe when you think about it. These cross-species viruses have only been happening in the last 20 years, maybe 30 years now, because HIV was the first. But in the 21st century, the SARS, the MERS, those viruses have sprung up, and they always say it's cross-species. It was the pigs, it was the swine flu, N1H1 was the bird flu. Now I've no doubt that the virus originated in those species. I'm not saying it didn't, but let's get conspiratorial. Wuhan has two research labs, virus research labs. They've got two. One of them is situated 180 metres from this wet market. The doctor at the Wuhan hospital who died of coronavirus, who first blew the whistle on it, he said case zero worked for one of those labs. Now, there is a video of him saying that he was a courier, a lab courier, probably between the two labs, because one's 180 metres away from that wet market. The other one is a few kilometres away, about 20 minutes, I think they said. And for years now, one of those labs has been researching coronavirus from bats. Bats have always had this virus. In fact, they're riddled with this virus. The studies weren't nefarious. They were looking at why do bats live so long, have such a longevity of life, yet they've got all these viruses in them. So, and there was also studies for immunisation against these viruses, because if you look at all the research that this lab was doing, they always said it was only a matter of time before it crossed species and we need to get on top of this thing. But interestingly, in November and December last year, 2 postings were put on the website of the Wuhan Virus Research Lab. Can't remember the full name of it, the proper name of it. Job applications looking for scientists from all over the world. They're don't have to be Chinese. They were looking for scientists to come and work on an exciting new discovery of a virus from bats. Now, there's a lady who works at one of those. I'm not going to mention names because I'm hopeless with Chinese names. But there was a senior research scientist at one of those labs. They used to affectionately call her the Bat Woman, because she was an expert on bats. And in the application, you can see that you can come and work with her. And she's like she's studied in Australia and in Singapore. She's worked on these bat viruses. There's a lot of bats in Australia. Now, the interesting thing is 2 job applications to come and work on this newly. One of them was on the second one was on the 24th of December. That was the one that was more excitable. You know, that we've discovered some amazing new viruses and we're looking for more researchers to come and work. And you can get your PhD and all this sort of stuff if you come and work for this lab. So that's a little bit interesting. Then the interesting thing from that is the people from that lab that have gone missing, completely gone AWOL. One in particular, and then there's another research. So I'm just waffling a bit because it's hard to remember all this stuff. But I'm going to put a link down below of the story so you can just read it for yourselves. It's a research story. It's nothing, and it's not from a sensationalist or anything like that. It's been researched because there was a paper put out from another lab in another part of China, where this scientist was doing his PhD, and he put out his theories on the what's the word for it? His theories on where this virus started, and he put in there that this lab in Wuhan had to shut down at one stage for 14 days and all go into quarantine because they got bat blood and urine splashed on them by mistake. Ugh. So his theory was that a person contracted the virus in the lab while working on these bats, and they quickly, as they'd always do in China, they had to try and cover it up. So he was sent off for embalming and cremation, and they never told the funeral people that this person was infected. And he believes in his paper that that's where the spread started, from that one person being embalmed and then cremated. Well, his paper, he got in trouble for it, obviously. It's up there because Google caches everything, so you can. It is in this report down below. I'll put the link in down below. But it was immediately withdrawn for obvious reasons. So, just thought I'd start off the day with a conspiracy. Oh my God. It's difficult to suggest that it came from somebody eating bat soup at a market. Apparently the chances of a virus cross-species, it would have to get, it's like winning the lottery twice in a row or something like that. It's quite difficult for him to do. But it's for me, it's all part of the China cover-up. There's just no way that China's dealt with it the way they're saying they've dealt with it, when you look at all the deaths that are happening around the world. Anyway, start off the day with a bit of conspiracy. I need to now get ready and get off to work. Catch you in a bit. Don't know if you can see, but the queue at the Foursquare is all the way around the corner. Which, to be this busy in this little village, just makes me think that maybe all those people with a home up here, second home, you know, like a beach home, have all come up for the Easter, call it an Easter break. Everyone's on a break at the moment. But the weather has been gorgeous. Now, they're not supposed to do that. They're supposed to stay put, not head off to their beach homes. Like I said before, it just exacerbates the problem that us local Matakanians going to have with all this increased population in the area. Right guys, just on my way to Albany to pick up the pork. Still having trouble getting deliveries. Hopefully the butchery will be open to do online deliveries soon, starting this Saturday I believe, so fingers crossed they'll be able to I'll be able to get the orders delivered there next week. But this is a big order, so hopefully I've got plenty of stock. Fingers crossed. Confirmed my suspicions about all these Aucklanders coming up to their holiday homes, which is completely illegal at the moment. You're supposed to stay at home. I had a chat with I was delivering some bacon to the Foursquare, and had nothing left on the shelf, and had a chat with one of the workers there, and he said, yeah, that tons and tons of people that they don't recognise, and people asking questions that made it pretty obvious they've never been there before. So that's not a good look. That's not a good look. I have to keep an eye on that one. So that's going to put undue pressure on our small little village at this time. And as Jacinda says, and Dr. Bloomfield says, greatly increase the risk of spreading the virus. So anyway, I want to get this video loaded up, so if I don't come back, that's going to be it. I've already gone past about 12 minutes, so I will say, subscribe if you want. I think we're up to 27. Come on, 3 more to get to 30. 30 subscribers, it's pathetic. Hit that subscribe button on the YouTube when it comes up, and I will see you tomorrow. Delivery day to Auckland.